A quote code red emergency has been declared in multiple states for millions of people right now, okay? And the military has been deployed, the National Guard has been deployed, and they are on the scene with this situation as well. This is happening in multiple states. They are telling people to stay indoors, and this is happening right now, all right? This is also related to what you can see going on behind me right now, okay? There are toxic chemicals being released into the air right now, and it smells like burning plastic, okay? And this happened very suddenly. I'm going to show all the data and the charts how this was not, it was completely fine here, and this rolled in instantly, okay? And we saw it. We were outside this morning, and all of a sudden this rushed in, okay? And now it looks like this, and it smells like burning plastic chemicals. And I remember too, when I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, a similar situation, but now the military is involved. They've declared a quote code red emergency now in these certain areas, and I'm actually in the middle of one of these areas, okay? But I remember about a week ago that you guys were telling me it smells like chemicals in the air. It smells like burning plastic in the air. And they're even admitting this. They're admitting that these chemicals are being released. We're going to get into that too. But it smells like burning plastic chemicals here. That's what this smells like. And this rolled in quick. It was a bright sunny day this morning. And then all of a sudden this giant plume of smoke. And I don't feel good. I'm telling you, my stomach does not feel good. I feel very worn down and tired, almost like I'm sick or have the flu, and I do not feel good since this is rolled in, okay? My wife is feeling it. I'm not sure if my kids are being affected by this yet, but this is happening right now, and the military is being involved as well, because the situation has gotten so bad that they've declared state of emergencies in multiple states, and they've had to bring in the National Guard to help deal with this. All right, so this is a major situation. We are seriously considering evacuating this area if this keeps happening, not staying in this region, because this keeps happening. This is the second time in the past 2 weeks where we've had, and this is different. Now this is a different one where we have an emergency situation where these toxic chemicals are being released into the air. So let me know if you are seeing this in your area. This is covering massive swaths of the country right now, and it's having code red air alerts all over the place, okay? And they are calling in the military in some states. It's getting so bad. But let me know down below if you are having similar situations like this. There's supposed to be a mountain range back here. There's supposed to be a mountain range right here, and you're supposed to be able to see far, and everything is completely blocked out, all right? And it smells like burning chemical plastics. So this is a major incident, and this keeps happening, and this is not a coincidence. They are admitting it now too, that some of the biggest incidents related to this are not coincidence. They keep coming out and saying, this is not a coincidence, this is random, people are doing this, and this is intentional. And one of these states, the rhetoric that they were using, they were saying that an attack occurred. They were saying that they had to declare a state of emergency and deploy the National Guard and the helicopters because they were saying these attacks were occurring. That was the wording that they were using, all right? So this is getting serious. Something is going on in the U.S., and we're going to break down all the situation, and I'm going to break down all the graphs and everything here too, so you guys can see what exactly they are doing to us, okay? They are releasing these toxic chemicals into the air that smell like burning plastic. That's what it smells like outside. It's nasty. I can barely be out here. I don't even know what to do with my AC right now. I don't know if to have it on fresh air or just like filtering it. I don't know what to do right now. That's what I was saying. If this doesn't clear up in the next 24 to 48 hours, we are considering evacuating in our RV and going to a different location, because this is not working here. All right, something is going on, and we keep getting these toxic poison chemical releases. All right, so let's dive into the details here. We have the military being deployed. We have records being broken for how bad these situations are, and we have code red emergencies and code purple alerts being issued in some places as well, saying that this is hazardous. It's saying don't go outside, don't be in this. That's what I'm saying. I'm in the middle of this right now, and they're saying this is hazardous. Don't even go outside in the middle of this. Stay inside if you can. All right, and this keeps happening. We keep having these events where they're like, stay inside, don't go anywhere. We're releasing this poison into the air, and now you can't leave your own home. This is insane. This is insane how bad this is behind me, and it rolled in all of a sudden. All right, so let's get into this news here. Military being deployed. Multiple states are declaring state of emergencies. They're having massive situations. All right, and I'm in the middle of one of them. This is going on all over the country in different areas. The government is admitting that these toxic chemicals, these VOCs, these volatile organic compounds like benzene primarily are being released onto the public right now, and they're saying this is apparently due to these massive wildfires that are spreading. Okay, and there actually is a major wildfire outbreak. There were about a dozen wildfires that just broke out in the past few days over in western Montana. Okay, and this is causing massive air quality issues. Apparently, that's the theory here. It's still not really adding up to me that it would be this bad where I am, but they are having massive issues, and they have brought out the military to deal with these fires because the local firefighters are being overwhelmed. They've also brought out the military in Louisiana. They're still dealing with a massive fire. Their largest fire in history actually is happening in Louisiana. Okay, and they are also having the military in Kansas right now to deal with fires as well. So this is becoming a major issue where the local fire departments and the local forest services are overwhelmed, and they cannot deal with these problems. And why do all these supposed fires keep starting? Okay, they are admitting that the largest fire in Louisiana history that they are still dealing with right now, that they are deploying the military for, they are admitting that it was started by arson. This is being admitted by mainstream news, Reuters. They're saying that authorities are coming out and saying this was a man-made fire and this was arson. It wasn't even an accident. This was arson. This was somebody trying to light these forests on fire and start these fires, start the largest one, the Tiger Island fire in Louisiana, the largest one in history now. And look at this article here. All right, look at this. This was just released by the National Guard today. National Guard fights Louisiana wildfires from the air. It says National Guard helicopter crews from Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Alabama have dropped more than 1.1 million gallons of water on wildfires in western Louisiana since August 23rd. Okay, they are flying helicopters from the National Guard from all these different states. That's how overwhelmed they are being with these fires. And look at these fire maps. All right, look at this fire map from Louisiana right now. Okay, there are fires all over. Fires all over, and new ones just keep popping up. And these are just the big ones. These are the big fires that are on the map. There are tons of little fires as well that local fire chiefs and fire communities, and a lot of these people are volunteers that are dealing with, okay? And they're going into harm's way. And it's so bad that they've had to deploy the National Guard to these different states. Kansas just had another one. They just declared a state of emergency and have deployed the National Guard to deal with fires in western Kansas. Okay, and this is also happening out west in Montana, Washington, Oregon, California. They're having major fires right now, and they are deploying the National Guard there as well. This is a national security issue that our country is burning to the ground, and they keep coming out and saying that this is arson. All right. They also admitted that the largest wildfire in New Mexico history, two of the largest wildfires in New Mexico history were started by the Forest Service, by a controlled burn. Controlled burn, that's what they call it, a controlled burn but it's actually out of control and it's causing a massive fire, a wildfire. All right, so this is insane that they actually admit this, and this is mainstream news admitting this as well. And I remember I was in my RV in southern Colorado at that time, and the smoke was so bad from these fires, from the Hermit's Peak fire, okay, and New Mexico. And these are two of the largest ones. Two of the largest ones were started by the U.S. Forest Service, and it was smoking out our entire little village, right? We were staying near this little village, this really small town, and it was just smoking out the whole village. And we weren't sure exactly where these fires were coming from because it would just roll in so quickly, kind of like what happened today. But this is even different. That smelt like fire, right? That smelled like fire. This smells like chemicals. This smells like burning chemicals, burning plastic. And even my wife agrees that this doesn't smell right. Something is off. We've been in wildfire smoke before, and this doesn't really make sense that it smells this off and it's this intense, and it just happened so quickly. All right, so something is definitely going on. Let me know down below if you are seeing this stuff in your state, because this is spreading. This is hitting multiple states right now. This is hitting Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and even going down further south. Okay, this smoke is getting everywhere. That's why I'm skeptical that this is just coming from this Montana fire over here. And you can also see here that the U.S. Forest Service actually uses laser ignition devices to start these controlled burns. Okay, this is on their official website. This is from the year 1987. It says laser ignition device and its application to forestry, fire, and land management. Okay, and they're saying that they use carbon dioxide lasers that operate at distances of 50 to 1,500 meters. And this was in 1987. They had lasers that could operate at almost a mile away to start the fire so they could get away from the fire. Okay, they didn't want to just be right on top of it, so they developed these laser ignition devices. And this was in 1987. And what do you think they have now? They have infinitely more powerful lasers. They just had a release that the military in China just developed these endless lasers. Okay, so they never get hot. They have endless cooling, because that's the problem with these lasers, is they get too hot and end up melting themselves. But apparently this one can be endlessly used and it doesn't heat up. Right, that's what the Chinese military is claiming, and our military has very similar things. Okay, Lockheed Martin put on a video of them melting cars. Right, just a few years ago they melted a car with one of their lasers that are mounted on a Navy ship. Okay, melted right through the engine block of a car with a laser from very far away. All right, so this stuff exists. This stuff has existed for a long time. And look at what happened in Maui. Right, that is the model that they want to do. They want to burn down a lot of the United States. Okay, so they can implement this agenda. They're building these emergency evacuation camps as well in Canada. They're building those all over, and they just started opening some of them. And check out these air conditions in Montana. Right, they are so high that they are in the hazardous level. They're at the highest level here, and they are telling people to stay indoors. They're saying avoid all outdoor physical activity, and they're saying stay indoors in a place with a cleaner indoor air quality and keep activity levels light. All right, so this is dangerous if they are not able to lock us down physically. All right, if they can't get us to consent to it, then this is going to be the new lockdowns where you can't even go outside. You don't want to go outside because it smells like toxic chemicals. My kids have been asking to go outside and play, but we're like, let's stay inside today. This looks too bad and it's dangerous out there. And my kid can see it. He's like, what's going on over here? Why can't you see the mountains? Why is it all smoky over here? And it's because these toxic chemicals are being released, and these are going to be part of the new lockdowns. All right, they were issuing this just a few weeks ago too in Denver, Colorado. They were issuing these emergency air quality alerts, and they were telling people not to drive their car. They were saying don't drive, and they were saying specifically if you have a gas or diesel vehicle, please do not drive your car. All right, they were highly recommending it, but it's going to be mandatory in the future. That's what we are heading towards, is these mandatory lockdowns related to these situations. And you'll just want to lock yourself down. You won't want to go outside. You won't want to go play in the yard with your family and enjoy life. They're telling people don't cut the grass. All right, they're telling people don't even fill up your gas tanks until nighttime, because it's bad for the environment and it's bad for the air quality and all this stuff. And I love the environment. I love animals. I love nature. All right, I love going to parks. I love all this stuff. I love being outside. I love being out in the country, all this stuff. So I hate seeing this. All right, I hate seeing this, and I don't want this to be used as the excuse to potentially lock us down. And look how suspicious this spike looks. Okay, the air quality was very good, and this is going back for a week. Okay, a week's worth of air quality data, and it looks good. All right, there were a couple little spikes here and there. That is normal. That happens all the time. But all of a sudden, around 10 a.m. this morning, 10 a.m. this morning, that's when it hit here. This air quality started getting terrible, and you can smell it in the air, and you could see it as well. It started just clouding up, and now you just can't see anything over here. And look at this spike in this data. All right, you can just see it. The air quality was good, and then it just instantly goes into the hazardous range. All right, so it's very suspicious and very strange what's going on here. And they admit, hey, when these fires happen, there's formaldehyde released, there's benzene released, there's toxic VOCs released, and benzene specifically is released in high quantities from these fires, apparently. All right, that's what they say. That's the theory here. That's the official theory. And it causes nausea, vomiting, and makes you feel almost like you're sick. My stomach has not been feeling well, and I've just been feeling kind of spaced out, all right, kind of cloudy headed today, head in the clouds a little bit today. That's what it feels like, and it's probably from breathing in these toxic chemicals. My joints are hurting, all right, my knees are hurting, my wrist and my knuckles are hurting, all right, all the stuff's hurting. So it's probably related to these toxic chemicals just being released without consent on us. And they're saying this is arson. They're saying people are doing it. Who are these people? Who are these people doing it? Why can't they find out who are doing these fires? And the largest ones in history in certain states, New Mexico, were started by the government, admittedly. So, and there was no accountability. This burned down hundreds of people's homes and destroyed people's properties, and there was no accountability from the government. They never paid these people or gave them money or made it right or anything. And a lot of these were like old villages that have been, out west since like the 1800s. That's how a lot of these little tiny towns are out west, and they got burnt down, okay, from these New Mexico fires last year. So this is happening all over the place, and there needs to be accountability for who's starting these fires. Let's get their face up there, get their face on the news. Who's starting these fires? Let's figure out who is it, what kind of group is this. We never get an answer. It's never like, oh, there was a major arrest of all these people that started this fire. We never get an answer. Who's doing these fires? And by the way, these laser weapons, these laser igniters, they can be purchased by anyone, right? They can be purchased by anyone. It's very dangerous technology that is just out in the public and out there for anyone to use. And it could be started from miles away. Somebody could be on a mountain or something, on a hill, miles away, and start a fire and be gone, be miles away from it, be gone. There's not even a footprint of them even being near this fire, of them even getting near that. All right, so this is the age that we're living in. We need to use our brain and think of all possibilities here. There's even speculations of satellite weaponry, okay, and potentially laser weapons being initiated on that. And we saw these suspicious laser scans of Maui, of Hawaii. Do you remember that? When this balloon situation was happening, another balloon went over Hawaii and there was this green laser that scanned over it, right? Very suspicious, very strange. And who took this picture, by the way, of them scanning Hawaii, all the stuff? And this was in mainstream news. Very strange. But they could have these satellite weapons as well. People were speculating that potentially that was a mapping, a low altitude satellite mapping of like a weather balloon one, so they can get it very low altitude, so they could map out exactly what the island looks like to get it ready for a laser weapon potentially. So just make sure you are getting prepared as possible, all right? Because these attacks could start targeting critical infrastructure, all right? We've already seen this happen time after time, but we could start seeing big hits to the grid, all right? So make sure you have a water tank. Make sure you have a generator. Have a big water tank. Have a 200 gallon, 300 gallon, 1,000 gallon, 2,000 gallon, whatever you can fit on your land, you can afford. Get a big water tank that you can fill up, have on your property in case there's some kind of fire, because a lot of these fires, they've been turning off the water and the hoses. This happened in Hawaii, and this also happened in Louisiana. They're turning off people's water and telling people do not use the water. All right, so have your own water tanks filled up as well in case there's a fire near you and you need to defend your property. And have a power source and a food source just in case this hits critical infrastructure a lot more. It starts hitting it more, and we start seeing more outages and more scarcity, okay? Because people aren't thinking long term. Yeah, they want to get people into these cities, but they also could use these laser weapons to destroy critical infrastructure, and there's no evidence really, right? There's no real evidence for these weapons. That's why they're so dangerous, right? Very dangerous. There's no footprints. There's nobody got close to it, right? There's no camera because you were near it. You were dumping the gasoline and lighting the match, and the receipts, they got the receipts on your credit card because you bought gas or whatever, and the match is over here. No, none of that. It's just very undetectable, and this could start hitting critical infrastructure. So please hit it up for me down there to get this video out to more people. People need to know about this, all right? And let me know down below, what does it look like near you? What does it smell like? This smells like toxic, burning plastic chemicals, all right? This does not smell good, and this is not good for your health, guaranteed. And they even admit it, right? They even admit in their own documents this is not good for you. So please hit it up for me down there to get this video out to more people. People need to know, people need to be prepared, and you need to be prepared too, all right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a big old blessed day.